The ReignOver's got over a quarter of bans in the first phase have been directed at jungle. Quite a high percentage for jungle because the fact that he doesn't like Lee Sin, doesn't play much Lee Sin, has played a little bit in solo queue to try it out, but not competitively and doesn't really want to embrace that champion. So people have been trying different jungle pitching strategies against them, but it's not every game that we have to see that, and he's been just fine. Going back to his old Olaf and the Kha'Zix he's really embraced, so it looks like he'll be okay as far as the first draft phase around this time. But really, you also mentioned Ray. That's another guy with kind of a specific style you're used to seeing, right? Yeah. Remember last year, we're always like, Ray's building full damage on everybody. His Aurelia is going Ghostblade, right? This guy's the one that you would expect to build a lot of damage and be a carry top laner. However, his last 2 games when they played Dignitas were both tanks.
Yep. This
time around, though, there you go, Riv. There's your Jayce.
Yeah, he had the Shen and Nautilus game, and the Jayce has picked up this first time. He was banned out when they played against Dignitas, so they made sure to give Ray trouble in the top lane. This time, it looks like Ray gets what he wants. Maybe going to Jensen as well, though. Good pickup with the Jayce. They answer with the Varus. Why not? ReignOver gets Graves as he continues to kind of flex around his pool. Graves is in his pool.
Lethality all around. Yep. No surprise here. The Varus and Graves definitely embracing that as well as the Jayce. So we'll see who can get off the snowballing first. And the lethality just keeps rolling through. No surprises once again. These are the 2 new sort of top 80 carries. Ashe was the other top one there up with Varus, but lethality is just intense right now. And although Jhin's lane phase may be a little bit weaker than the Varus, he brings so much as you get to the long range mid-game aspect where a couple of the outer turrets start going down, and the pick potential with the Jhin ultimate as well as the snares that we've been seeing really do add a lot of snowballing. So first 4 picks are all lethality builders, and the last one here a little bit more flavor. I really do like the Ivern in poke compositions where we've seen so many teams trending sword, the Corki, the Jhin, the Jayces. Really, Daisy provides some rock on the front line to shield you, plus another supportive item build path that Contractz can go with the Ivern. No surprise though, they've shown all of this stuff before.
Interesting. I was going to see if we kind of went off balance here, and the Ryze does get picked up by Liquid. We saw a lot of supports getting banned, but it is going to be Ryze, Jayce, Jhin, and Ivern. So what do we see here coming into phase 2 now that they're unbalanced?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like pretty standard. They're going to need a front line here for Team Liquid. That you would expect Lourlo on the top side to be running a tank, but what does he want to run into a Jayce? Because Jayce will have that bully matchup up there, and they've already locked in jungle. So, I mean, Matt has played a lot of Thresh, but Matt has been getting picked off quite a lot too. That's where a decent amount of the team's deaths have been coming from. Maybe they just want to put him, sacrifice that bottom lane laning phase and put him on a tank and have him be the the point man to take a lot of the hits and soak up some of the damage for them.
We will see those catches you're talking about, mostly in the mid-game, trying to ward, trying to get the team vision so they can kind of catapult themselves forward. Being on a tank would help them get to those sticky situations in and out a little better. 5 seconds left here for Liquid in their last ban. It's going to be a Cassiopeia towards mid.
Yeah, and the bans from Cloud9, no surprise here in ban phase number 2, are aimed at the top lane, which is the unanswered role, as Team Liquid opted to get GoldenGlue that Ryze early on, prioritize it for him rather than match the top lane pick, because Jayce already off the board there. It's going to be a bully matchup pretty much no matter what champion at this point you do pick into it. Shen, though, is one that people have been happy to take that small CS difference up there in the top side and then teleport around. Rumble's one that can fight him, and we'll try and rush for that Hex Drinker. And that's one of those tilty matchups where jungler intervention does mean a lot, because those early item breakpoints in this matchup can mean the difference between one of those solo kills. And that can definitely come out of that matchup.
I can't wait, Kobe. It's been tanks in the top lane for so long. We actually get some fights when we look at that lane now. Doesn't have to be 20 minutes into the game. Looks what Cloud9 will answer with here, as they do see the Rumble. Pretty powerful mid-game here for Team Liquid if they can get their lanes won and they control these objective fights.
Yeah. It also means that, maybe we will see Matt on something that at least brings some more CC, because right now the only crowd control Team Liquid are working with comes from, technically slows are soft CC, we say, but Varus Ultimate is the only hard CC, besides the single target route from Ryze, that they're really packing. We have seen mostly DPS comps, though, trending very recently, so they might just go with a CC light composition.
So Taliyah locked in, Nami as well, seen that in the hands of Adrian quite a bit here, being one of the only supports to play it. Now Matt will pick it up for this matchup.
And that has been kind of a trend for these guys, right? They want this Team Liquid bottom lane to be set up to have a strong laning phase. And Nami Varus is definitely an incredibly strong laning phase here and should be able to hold their own. The problem for this bottom lane has been that Piglet and Matt actually get over aggressive in the 2v2s. And even when they do have control of the lane and they're pushing up, they make a mistake going for a tower dive or going for a kill and pushing a bit too far. They either get teleported on or they actually just overextend under turret and give up early kills. So definitely looking for that bottom lane to clean up their play. It is going to be more intense because Jensen, with that last pick, taking the Taliyah, going to be roaming around a lot. Going to be trying to use that Q spam to shove in GoldenGlue on the Ryze and open up some space for himself to affect the rest of the map.
Can't wait to see how they cut and divide the fights as well. Once we get late game, coaches will shake hands and make their way off. Liquid here, as we said, breaking their 4-game losing streak, trying to come back strong. Look good coming in here today. Everything or all smiles on their faces, I should say. And Cloud9 looking to keep that #1 spot alive. The question is, can anybody stop them right now? We get to find out each week, and we're going to find it as we head into the Rift right now. Hashtag C9 win. Hashtag TL win. We're starting off good today.
Yes, we are.
We have this
first Taliyah in North America.
That's true.
For this split.
There you go. It's always like the slow qualifier that comes out.
Just add on more and more qualifiers and you're good to go.
Covered Reddit.
For this game, I am definitely excited for this Ray matchup in the top lane, though, because so much of the info coming out of these guys' scrims and just even the player sentiment, they're like, yeah, we're super excited to have Ray on the team. You know, he's really mechanically gifted, and
he's super excited to be playing and show what he's done.
Exactly. We were like, yeah, they think he has a very high skill cap. So now I'm excited to see what he will do on actually Jayce, because Jayce is one of those champions where you got to keep up that bullying. You want to keep the tower pressure going, especially when you have an Ivern on the team. Basically, the strategy here for these Jayce Ivern teams is Jayce early pressure on the turret, and once they finally wear that down, you get to that mid game where the Ivern does hit level 6 and has Daisy, and then you just rotate around, siege up a bunch of turrets. The bush spam plus all this poke that comes out and the early gold lead that Jayce should have really are used to snowball through the mid game, and they really set up a very nice mid game snowballing comp here for Cloud9. We're going to have to see if Team Liquid can put a stop to that, because they actually do have a couple of really good mid-game breakpoints as well, given that the Rumble can really destroy a backline if there's any sort of lockdown on them.
We did see Ray in his first play. It was against Someday. Did quite well in lane, only a few CS behind, maybe falling 10 or so throughout the laning phase. But that 10 allowed Someday, also a very smart player, to get those first teleports, get those first moves. So definitely seeing if Ray can stay on top of that lane, be the first to make the moves.
And meanwhile, Lourlo, the guy that everyone talks about, oh yeah, he wants to play carry so often.
Yeah.
You know, he's been a carry player for such a long time, and he's been designated to play tanks for these guys, and he's been actually doing quite well on tanks. Now he gets his chance, you know, to take the Rumble, to be able to make the big plays and have those impressive Rumble ultimates that do zone off the back line or even take them down. So definitely both of these top laners looking like they have a lot to prove. Meanwhile, the junglers as well, both these guys have actually stabilized pretty well. I always like to track the early Ivern routes and the options that you have, because so many people go for the kind of guaranteed buff steal, but it's been so much more in pro play where they start safer side, just prep your 2 and then go to your own blue rather than going into one of those blind setups where they try and counter you and grab that first blood super quick. So Contractz has done just that. You prep 2 camps on your red quadrant, go over and smite your blue real quick so you get that quick spike to level 3. And now he's actually going to look to keep track of ReignOver here as he's heading down to the bottom side, prepping the Scuttle Crab.
All right, we're going to actually toss to Jat. Spoke with Reaper a minute ago about picks and bans and how C9's feeling.
Riven, yes, I did speak with Reaper, but first up I had to ask him about Ray and why we're seeing him over Impact. Reaper told me that last time Ray had a poor showing on stage. His scrims actually took a dip, but since he's been improving in scrims, they wanted to give him another chance on stage. And then that kind of wild pick and ban phase, Reaper said that he didn't expect ReignOver to pick Graves over Kha'Zix, and they actually were hoping they had Kha'Zix, so he's thinking they might have something planned with that.
Action,
and then the Taliyah was an interesting pick as well. Let's send it back to you, though.
Boom! Just in time, we get the play back, and Cloud9 gets it as well.
Speak of that ReignOver Graves pick, he comes in here and they get 2 kills right off the bat. Usually a farming jungler, but he comes right down at the perfect time. The 2 extended members here and cleaned up. Sneaky doesn't even have time to use his flash there, goes down, and that is a huge amount of momentum for this bottom lane. This bottom lane for Team Liquid has actually been disappointing for them so far, but look at this. They're bullying. Smoothie and Sneaky are actually just in the middle of the map here, but move right up on him. Sneaky gets exhausted for the 4th shot, so the exhaust was on there. No chance. He was dead, even if he had flash, so good actually for him to hold onto it there, but man, that is a big swing for this bottom lane, because the Varus Nami already were set up to have success down there, and with the early gank, most of the summoners blown, and a lot of extra gold here, as Piglet did get kill credit for one of them, and off to the early lethality.
ReignOver looking much more confident here in the early game. Start to change those average behind numbers at 10. 2-0, 4.5, and Contractz needs to make something work now. He'll try to find that opening in top lane. He gives Lourlo a chance, but the flash out, it's going to give him just enough safety. Good dodges.
So the reason they hesitated there is because it's very dangerous to face check into Fog of War against the Graves, because Graves has so much line damage here, and they actually eventually, even though they decided to, well, we got to run from Ryze. Maybe Contractz, yeah, gonna have to flash. That bush, you're a little bit scared to be face checking into a Graves, especially since ReignOver just also got one of the kills down bottom. So that's why they kind of hesitated, but then they made the call to keep up the chase and eventually did run into the jungler.
A lot of what we see happening for Liquid is kind of rolling for Cloud9 here, coming away just without the kill. Team Liquid able to pull that back in their favor. So we'll see if they can keep this bit of a lead that they have. Maybe getting Cloud9 a little shook here in the early game, and it has to be now. Cloud9 has 100% snowball stats if they're in the lead at 10 minutes. So you cannot be behind. Yeah, they will always win.
They have definitely been snowballing a lot of games. The only 2 games they did lose, they were already behind at 10 minutes and stayed behind the entire game. And this is one of those games. Team Liquid are out to a pretty early lead. We'll see if they hold on to it for that long. But GoldenGlue in the mid lane actually gets the worst end of that trade, but should be able to recall just fine here, as he had the wave shoved up anyways. But yeah, I mean, tracking this this ReignOver pick, and Jat talked about Reaper actually wasn't expecting it, even though ReignOver has been playing quite a lot of Graves in solo queue, and some people have been tracking that. He's actually had quite a good amount of success, and I do like it for him. Very good at farming, can stay very high health, and really has a lot of options. I like these junglers that don't take a lot of damage while they're clearing for ReignOver, because ReignOver's one of his biggest strengths has been the manipulation of his and his opponent's jungle route in order to really react very quickly to the current state of the game, and he already showed that in his move down bottom. We'll see what else he does have in store. We very much do expect him to go with the lethality build for Graves and be a very big source of DPS towards team fights as well. But we also did prep that this is a fairly light on CC team, as they're going to have to rely on Piglet and Matt landing skill shots, or GoldenGlue really setting those up with his one targeted snare. Showcased here on Jensen. Well done, GoldenGlue.
Doing well in the scrims, just seeing if he can translate that to stage. Gets the HP, but Jensen's just kind of, I believe, toying with this and maybe even baiting in for something. Yeah,
I mean, Jensen's been shoving him all game. You can see that in the CS right now. Jensen out to a pretty good CS lead over him. Double bubble on the bottom, though, and Sneaky.
They did not expect that to happen. It gets out. Smoothie a little too close there. It actually catches them up both. Very nicely done for Matt and the team to see that. They actually just got most of their summoners back up, so Liquid trying to go aggressive when they have the chance.
ReignOver goes over the back of the dragon pit. Lourlo gonna try and take him down.
Lays out the red carpet. We'll see if they can get him on this one. Oh, caught up in his own minions. Flame Spitter and collateral damage to end it. And now it's gonna be on the bot lane. Piglet looking like he's gonna have to slalom through the minions. They're looking at Matt as well. And it doesn't look like Smoothie can really help this one out. There's the heal. They're going to be fighting in the brush.
Here.
I think they're all right. Contractz is just whimsy slapping Piglet left and right. Gets the shot down. Here comes Jensen weaving some walls. Can they follow up? Matt finally uses that flash he was holding to try and protect Piglet.
Yeah, really good flash there to flash that binding. And the bottom lane does get one kill handed over here, but Team Liquid, ReignOver keeps up the pressure on top side, and they get the first turret bonus. So they stay ahead of Cloud9. They're on a pretty good course right now as far as the game. It's only really the worrisome CS in the mid lane. But even so, with that roam, with the pressure that Jensen had, wasn't able to grab the extra kill down bottom for them, and Team Liquid are feeling pretty good about the start of this game. Let's take another look at ReignOver. This is just before, I believe he jumped over the back of that wall. Maybe he was caught by a ward, and that's why Ray started going early, but Ray here, slowed by the carpet. They know he doesn't have the flash. Went back in for the knockback, and good execution there as ReignOver is able to land his ultimate. And this is Smoothie just trying to bait Piglet in to keep him in range. Oftentimes, you'll get super mad at your support for coming to try and help right here and then actually getting hit by that arrow, but Smoothie outranges it, plus had the shield, so might not have even died to it, but they do get that one.
Confirmation, jumped over the wall.
Able to get it.
He did jump. So Smoothie sneaky back to lane, 74-65, not a lane you usually see falling behind. We'll see if they can repair this one. We haven't seen too much love from Contractz bottom, except for those 2 times, but ReignOver has been bottom and top, trying to utilize and push forward each lane.
Yeah, and they've been very efficient ganks.
Yep.
They've been ganks at the tail end of his route. So he's clearing most of his jungle and then ending up on that side with a very good opportunity already there for him. So they've been very efficient ganks, and he hasn't fallen behind at all in CS. He's actually quite far ahead here of Contractz. Even though the CS numbers are very misleading, he does still have this experience advantage, which does not lie. Definitely does help with the extra kills that he's gotten, though. And ReignOver is really set up well to control this game. Yep. One of the things we thought we were going to see more of from Team Liquid, especially when you see the roster, is bottom lane focus. And it is nice to see that they're rewarded for going bottom so early. Even though Contractz did get one back, I think it's definitely been a good part of the snowball of this game, as ReignOver is now able to transfer that into the first Drake to grab Cloud Drake for themselves.
With all that pressure top, Ray 81-71, still able to farm it out, is Jayce, but making sure he's keeping that farm up so he can be a menace when they get to the objective stage. Only 11 minutes in here, a 3,000 gold lead though for Liquid, looking much better, but we've seen Cloud9 turn these around in an instant. Here's a little bit of trying to get that back. Top lane will have ReignOver in just a minute. It's all up to Lourlo to keep himself alive. Buy a little more time. Contractz close. Gonna be the hit. Collateral damage goes out, does not do enough, and the follow-up is not there. Cloud9 in and out.
Yeah, and GoldenGlue already used his Realm Warp to get up here, so he doesn't have it now to try and chase anyone down for any counter kill. But yeah, Lourlo, no Zhonya's completed yet, so 3 men is definitely enough to take him down. Good roam there from Cloud9, taking advantage of the Taliyah. Thought he was gonna blast on over a little earlier there, but GoldenGlue gonna be able to walk down the river, no problem. 1 kill picked up for Cloud9, but you know, no objective afterwards, so it's not the worst thing here in the world for Team Liquid. And with all these roams that Jensen's been doing, GoldenGlue's catching up quite easily in CS here on the Ryze and building up to his mana items. Should be able to complete his Rod of Ages fairly soon. Tier's already stacking. Take a look here though, as Taliyah is going to be first to the roam. Very easy for him. Contractz is already in place, and the flash, once you see 3 people, his idea, he was going to be able to buy more time and get a little bit more damage out so that ReignOver and GoldenGlue could clean up, but wasn't able to do so.
It almost looked like Cloud9 said, we have to do this as well. They didn't really have vision on ReignOver. They were flooding that top lane, so biting back, as you would say. They're able to get themselves that on a quick decision. ReignOver back in, taking his red. Get a little bit of a roam here from Lourlo in the top lane and can start moving a ward line forward and start helping each other out.
Yeah, and we are transitioning to the stage of the game where we would like to see more grouping. The redemption has come in for Contractz on the Ivern. He's ready with Daisy, so a very very potent team fight from Ivern currently. And if you do group up with the Jayce, with the poke from Jhin and Taliyah as well, try and whittle down some extra pressure here. Looks like he is making his way through the lane towards bottom once again. And the teleports for both top laners are ready, so if they do focus down in that area once again, it could be very explosive.
Be the right time. Looks like the wave just kind of reset the top side. Bit of a roam from Ray.
Doing it all right.
Clear. See where these wards are being placed. So behind the pit, you got one for TL. Looks like they can hold this by themselves. So now he comes out. They should be able to take down Contractz quite quick. No teleport still. Lourlo, I should say, is backing off though if he's needed. And they're able to just take down Contractz. Their own quick decision.
Advantage there. Plus the power of Graves. There's no way you can go contest at that tri-bush as ReignOver just walks right down, is clearing out the pink ward in their vision. And that ward over the back of the Dragon Pit allowed GoldenGlue to start that one up.
They call to Ray immediately. This could be stop teleports. He's right on the Jensen if he does come in. Looks like they are going to complete on both sides. Lourlo, not in a spot he wanted to be. Cloud9 was saying if he comes down, we take him down. And it works out.
Yeah, that was a very poor completion of that teleport. He's not on a tank.
Yeah.
You know, you can try and complete that and know that you're going to take a decent amount of damage on a tank coming out of that, but as Rumble, still no Zhonya is completed. That is a teleport that you have got to cancel at the last second there. If you look at the positioning of the champions, too much damage in place for Cloud9. They immediately take him out, and that is a free kill handed over. Tower defense complete here for C9. So they close the gold gap a little bit.
See how they start to fire back. We'll
Take a look at it.
Yeah, one more time.
Yeah, because you know they're definitely trying to bully down here, and they're like, okay, we can match numbers, but Ray coming in first and Jensen showing up. There's still time to cancel that, even after they see Jensen. So, you know, the call was definitely made there to allow him to come in. And you can see ReignOver moved up a little bit to try and screen with damage, but that is not going to help you out.
Like even Ray just went straight hammer form and went all the way into the fight. Not something you usually see.
Like, oh, they're completing? They're completing? Ah, juicy.
Ray, let's go. Black Heat Cleaver on him already. Contractz, he has been found out in the jungle. A big reason that Cloud9 can get a lead in the early game, but he has had a hard time.
Oh, Daisy's out and looking for a stun.
There's the flash. Matt tried to get away with that deadly flourish. Right. Lock it up for his team, but they all get out alive.
ReignOver immediately focuses the Daisy, trying to take her down. Not only do you get good gold out of her, but it's definitely worth focusing that and taking out the front line when they're trying to collapse. I have to say, this game is going so much better for Team Liquid than anybody really expected. Yep. And we talk about, oh yeah, I know, maybe that game against Fox was kind of a turnaround for them. And GoldenGlue in his interview talked about the team meeting that they had, and the team was feeling much better, even though it looked like they were still, you know, struggling a little bit and making some mistakes. This is so much better for them. They are just jumping on Cloud9, making picks on Cloud9 in their own jungle, and coming away with it. Definitely like the proactivity that we're seeing from Team Liquid. Try and turn their season around here against the #1 team.
So I wonder as well, this Graves pickup that came in, obviously Kha'Zix would have done as much damage, but is this Contractz Grave? Is that what he wanted? And
whoa, hold on a second with that.
Scary decision. Jensen just getting out of this one alive. Collateral damage leaves him with just a sliver of health. GoldenGlue's now the target. Ray gets a triple shot and fires off a blast. He's going to be able to get the kill. Got to be very careful as in comes Lourlo, throws down the equalizer to kind of calm things down as Piglet comes in from the river as well. Whew. There you go.
Jinx! Yeah, no vision there, not able to land that one. And they are down GoldenGlue, but they're starting up this Drake. They really want control of the Inferno. They saw 2 members back. Nice Jhin ultimate here to force him off.
Trading the damage.
ReignOver wants to stay in for the smite fight, but he's pretty low. Oh, Contractz got it with 84 health!
Contractz kind of tried to time his end of the line. Or I'm sorry, ReignOver, and Contractz was like, no, that's mine. Thank you. So first dragon, second dragon, I should say, going to C9. Jensen back to pushing mid.
I get so into those smite fights that are actually both of the junglers in a decently dangerous position where they're taking damage, and man, the adrenaline just starts pumping when.
I guess I'm going to say, not that it matters at 10 to 11 in the amount of health, but Contractz does have a weaker smite in this factor. Yeah. Still times it right. That's all it's about. Let's see it again.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the screening ultimate. They want to push him off. Contractz moves in for the just straight up duel of smites here. Oh,
no, Kobe.
Baited.
No, we won't. You get to watch a cupcake fight.
What a tease.
I'm sorry,
Daisy
he's down
is just
too.
getting annihilated here.
Yeah, not having the same effect. Definitely a different recipe today. 18 minutes in, and Team Liquid kind of holding a 2K gold lead. Cloud9 was able to take 1,000 of that back, if you will, but they aren't finding many kills. ReignOver keeps getting some, and then that opens up the map a lot for Team Liquid.
Yeah. I do want to return to your point that you were going to bring up before that. Excitement broke out, Riv, because I thought it was a super good one. You know, returning to this ReignOver Graves pick and how he's been doing actually very well on Kha'Zix. But it's just such a different play style. Like we talked about him, you know, being the more controlling jungler and trying to stay more at range and farming here. He's really used the extra pressure rather than, you know, Kha'Zix is much more of a commitment and putting yourself in danger there. And we had seen him, you know, get blown up on a decent amount of times when he went in. True. I do have to say though, Kha'Zix still a very strong pick. It's just that, you know, he put a lot of time in on Graves recently for the solo queue. And with the lethality build, it's definitely been one of multiple junglers' favorites. I do like it in this one, because melee versus Daisy is always rough. Oh, man.
Bye-bye.
Did Matt land the first snare there? I think it was just
Chain of Corruption into
Piglet
bubble.
got it. Yeah. Well, we said we were going to keep an eye on the CC from the bottom lane here from Team Liquid, and they are definitely impressing.
Pack it on. Ray is having a field day here in the top lane. He could still provide some unknown damage. We haven't seen the poke coming from him yet, but Team Liquid has moved around so fast, I don't think he has much of a chance to set up. So he stays top lane, continues to push, and hopes to grab Lourlo's respect here. Team Liquid do back off, but he will have second tier to himself, giving the team some good gold through his work top lane.
Yep, C9 still going to be able to get a decent amount of gold. And even though we're super hyped up for Team Liquid, you know, doing much better than previously in the season, Cloud9, we still have to remember, they're only 1,000 gold behind, plus they have an Infernal Drake, which actually, you know, the value of that one is still going up. So they're in actually a pretty decent spot. We'll just want to see a little bit more of the coordinated team fight from them, where they bring the siege with the siege of their with Ivern with the extra poke, and try and make use of the brush here to try and whittle down Team Liquid.
Liquid's felt pretty confident about roaming around and pathing this bottom half of the jungle. They've taken out Contractz a few times, at least giving them a lot of trouble. You see the wards being set up by Cloud9, trying to stop that bit of a snowball TL has.
All right. They're actually making the call for the split push. You see those pings on bottom? Those are for Cloud9, telling Ray to go for the turret. They're dedicated to this Jayce turret killing, and they're going to have some communication here, as GoldenGlue does have a Realm Warp ready and could try and cut him off. So they force him off the split push and relieve all pressure on that mid push.
Might get a ward up toward the Baron, it seems here. Get that ping on. You know, there's quite a bit of damage over on the side of Liquid. They could definitely lay down and jockey for a fight and come out on top. So Cloud9 does not want to have that chance. Really put a few steps ahead for themselves to stay safe. The CS in the lanes is going very well for Cloud9. Top lane 180 to 132, 212 to 197. See if Piglet and Matt can still get this team into some fights here. Seems like things have slowed down a little bit with their non-tank game.
Yeah, we'll see, because they definitely still should keep up the siege on the last outer turret. And Team Liquid are trying to wear them down. This is, Realm Warp coming in. Yeah, don't take that one. They're going to be able to use that, though, for zoning and finish up the turret. Good pickup there for Team Liquid to increase the gold lead. But this is where it does really get tricky, right? Because I would consider Rumble almost a 50-50 semi-range champion. So if you consider him semi-range, then this is almost a 10 range champions in the game. And that's one of the reasons for being a little bit less likely to commit to one of those melee assassins, because everyone from the other team, they're all ranged. They can split out and they can focus fire. Whoever jumps in as what would be the only melee is pretty easy focus call. You just get blown up. So the team fights do get a little complicated, and it really does put an extra emphasis on the team fight coordination for these guys and the shot calling and focus fire within that team fight, so they can DPS down the priority target that is close enough for all of them. In the meantime, though, that split push does take its toll.
Merc treads on top of his Hex Drinker, so he can actually probably give GoldenGlue a pretty good run for his money before having to get out of there. Clear on Baron to make sure they have the calls necessary and the movement. Right now, ReignOver's just clearing his jungle. Liquid here, not finding themselves in this position quite often, have been holding the game pretty well, also aggressing. So it's like Cloud9 seems they have the waves in their favor, and they're going to go ahead and start pushing turrets and see how TL responds.
Yeah, Varus is pretty good wave clear here. Nami wave comes out.
Daisy immediately, Daisy watches Contractz go into a bubble, flash away, good shield by Smoothie, but they still get him down. Sneaky taking a huge chunk of damage. GoldenGlue flashing forward and making the flux count. A double kill for him. And TL can back off here. Summoners are down and things are getting hairy.
Contractz right into the flank of GoldenGlue there. Nice job by Team Liquid. Pincer movement. They're able to set this up with Matt landing his wave into the bubble. Yeah. GoldenGlue with the flank, and they just have everyone there a split second first. Ray came off of the split pushing as well, so they moved right over to the Baron. Teleport still available for Ray, and he's coming in.
TP on the back. This is Jayce's favorite here. If he can get enough damage in, Team Liquid is not going to come out of this happy. They can't decide which way to go. He's going to be on the left. Red team gets Baron. That's for Liquid, and they might be able to fight their way out. Cheeky little wall here coming in. And the shock blast.
Comes up short.
The shock blast, just a blast, and just misses.
Oh man, what a good decisive moment here from Team Liquid. So Chris, they get the kill on the jungler. They see Ray in the side lane, immediately make this call, switch over to the Baron. They know there's no smite that's gonna try and come here, but once again, let's look at this as it was set up by Piglet once again. So Piglet lands the chain of corruption. That's why Matt's able to land with the wave and the bubble as well. GoldenGlue's in there with the flank and cleans up the extra kill, chasing down the back line. All right, here they go with their Baron empowered push to be able to get this turret pretty easily. Side lane pushing as well. Lourlo is bringing up the bottom wave.
Instant action. A lot of times, if teams are able to make hits on somebody like Cloud9, their waves aren't anywhere near they need to be. Now Liquid's able to act on the fights, the Baron, and now the lanes that they held even. And Cloud9 was even winning in a few, so Liquid really coming out strong here. 25 minutes in, it looks like second tier gets hit. They are going for Smoothie. One more shot, he goes down, pulling the trigger whenever they get the chance. It does not look like Liquid's going to be stopped for this second tier. Just a few more shots from the curtain call, and Liquid saying thank you very much. A little more global gold.
Taking that in. GoldenGlue in with minions as well.
Ray out of nowhere, bopping Piglet down.
Got him on the side here, and that should put a stop to it. 4 versus 3 at the moment. Whew. Yeah, Sniper Ray up there on the side was able to take out the extra kill, but man, Team Liquid did get another turret, so inflate the gold lead a little bit. The Dragon should definitely be theirs for the taking, as there's a lot of housework to do here for Cloud9 to try and get their minion waves back in position.
Much more decisive plays and communication here from Liquid. Everybody's behind each other. One or the other, or everything coming together.
Yeah, man.
Lots of stuff.
The last couple sets from Team Liquid were very worrying for fans over the last couple weeks, but they had their reset at the very end of last week, and good showing so far. This is still game 1 of the series, but it definitely bodes well. Much more competitive than we thought. See if they can actually finish it out. Baron buff, they still have a bit of time on it, and would like to make the most of that siege, considering both of these seem to have very similar strengths with that poke.
Came into this looking at ReignOver and Contractz, and kind of the disparity that ReignOver has found compared to his previous seasons. He's showing a little bit of old-fashioned ReignOver in this game. 4-0-3, 185 CS to 89. A little inflated, but still just destroying the jump.
Yeah, here comes GoldenGlue, brings up the minions. They've got a quarter of Baron buff left on them, so all the outer turrets have been taken down. And the true test.
The turrets.
Inhibitor turret.
They are dropping instantly. Mountain Drake on top of ReignOver's power. He gets up close, and chunks of health just come off of those things. 5K gold lead. They were able to spread that a little bit more. So Liquid throwing money on the ground. GoldenGlue. Shh. He's hiding.
Using the enemy Ivern brush against them. One of the best. Ooh, Lourlo gets picked.
Able to flash out. That leaves Matt to get hit. Daisy can't make it to Matt for 3, but it is Sneaky that can. Calls the curtain down on him. Jensen low to go down. GoldenGlue flanking in from the side. Flank number 2 to produce more kills. 3 kills for the team across the board, and now they're going to make their way into the base.
Piglet's chain of corruptions have just been killing everyone they chain to. Lourlo lands his Rumble ultimate right over the top there, and that just turned around the entire fight, got them 2 more kills, and now they've taken down the inhibitor. That's that final test. Teleport's actually going in top as well.
Ray just behind them. He flashes himself in, tries to get more kills. ReignOver close to going down, but is necessary to stay up here if they want to keep going for turrets. It'd be a little sketchy. Top one may be in their eyes here. They're going to have to get out. 5 seconds onto Sneaky. They don't want to toy with that crowd control.
Man, Piglet was offended by being put on the bottom of Mark's 80 carry list or something, because he has been pretty accurate here on Varus this game. Definitely setting up quite a few plays for the team, and everyone's been able to layer CC right after that. The Rumble ultimates become much easier to land. Matt has been able to get not only his ultimate, but also a lot of bubbles. 1 inhibitor down, and now the game gets much easier for Team Liquid. See if they can hold on to their composure in the late game. Yeah.
Make sure there's that closeout factor. You got to keep the pressure on. Cloud9 will find an opening. And you can see through a little bit of Baron power play work, and still get that gold up there. And really, that equals having everything in place, as I said before. Teams usually don't have another wave to push after they fight Cloud9. You're repairing things. You're trying to make sure they don't take a turret after you fight them. But this is Liquid. Stepping forward off of every fight. The fights look good in communication too. They got to keep it going though. It's a very long split. Things are looking better though here in this game of Week 4.
Nothing true. 3/4 of a game doesn't mean everything is
It does, righted. Kobe. It's fixed.
All right, well, Cloud9 are going to keep up that split push. You know, Jayce is level 16, so they can call Ray back if they have to commit to this. Another Realm Warp here from GoldenGlue really reduces the amount of reaction time. They're going to forfeit this one and give up 2 inhibitors now. There'll be double super minions coming in, trying to buy some time for Ray to trade. He does get the trade done, but the defense here for Cloud9 is going to be fairly difficult as Baron comes up in 50 seconds. So you'll see a really easy call here from Team Liquid. They're going to force on this blue quadrant of Cloud9's territory. Actually, Ray's still going. He's going to get an inhibitor turret in that trade. And that might put a little bit more pressure, but the game plan will remain the same. Baron coming up will be the focal area. Team Liquid will use the vision they already have to try and bait Cloud9 into a bad spot so that they can land more chains of corruption into, you know, things like Rumble Ultimate through the jungle corridors.
Ray backing on 2,000 gold. Make it sound so easy, Kobe.
I mean, they already have so much vision set up, and they have 2 inhibitors down. So let's take a look at the pick, though. So this was a good pick on the Lourlo. But then moving up here, and you kind of lose track of all the things you have to dodge. Piglet got the sneaky chain of corruptions out there. It chains over to Smoothie and Sneaky and Jensen. And Lourlo put his Rumble ultimate right down on top of all of them. And look at that sucker. Snares all of them in place. Just absolutely devastating team fight. And that is something that is not that easy to pull off. Like that definitely. Oh, wow!
Deadly flourish! Sneaky bot lane!
What the? No! Hey, Grim excited. Oh, yeah, it's going to be so easy for them.
Oh, it sounds so easy.
Holy moly! Sneaky trying his best to save the game with the Sneaky W. The Baron buff will help out so much with defending your base as well.
Yikes.
That might be one of the only things that can help out defending this double inhibitor down. The best thing, too, there's nothing else to draw Cloud9 out of the base, so they can just farm now.
What is this?
This is actually insane.
What is life?
He threads it right through. Matt walks out of it. He doesn't block part of the... But, man, regardless, that is just the most insane steal that we've seen in a very long time.
You said Piglet. I remember your quirky steal. I'll let you finish. But so, Cloud9, huge for stopping the waves now coming in. But we'll see if Team Liquid is far enough ahead.
That is just, oh man, I know you don't like want to take damage and you used to like dodge skill shots, but somebody step in there and block that, because that may cost them a turnaround here. Holy moly. Well then, Rip.
Well, two lanes being pushed in. They're trying to do their damnedest to not allow a minion wave up to the turret. Thank God they're not Baron minions. Deadly Flourish goes out. Grenade didn't hit anyone. And neither did the captive audience. It's just Ray still pushing the top side. They are going to go tried and true to this split push until Cloud9 can hold off any power that Liquid has, and they're equal. It's going to be a little bit more time, but they're definitely going to reach it if this keeps happening.
Oh man, I'm still cracking up
What
over
a
that.
play from Sneaky.
I mean, this is such. We keep talking about how big of a great of a comeback this is, and still is that for Team Liquid, right? They played so much of the game really well.
Yep.
They still have a good gold lead. They have map lead. They have Drake's coming in for them. But those are the types of mistakes where somebody's got to step in front of that and block that sucker off, because that's literally the only thing that's going to take away the early game.
It becomes the test, Kobe. It'll all look too good. In the road to victory, there are sometimes mistakes. And we'll have to see if Liquid can get over that one. I don't know, a mistake. It's just a good play by Sneaky. But it will test them here. We have questioned, will it happen in the early game? They were able to get over Cloud9 in the early game. But now can they kind of hold the lead they have and not be shook by what just happened? 34 minutes in, things are kind of evening out. We're going to get jockeying for the Elder Dragon, I believe, after Vision.
Yeah, they do have a while for it to start.
Yeah.
So,
no, they do.
But man, it is right back to a pretty close one here, Riv. Let's see how they do jockey for that position and set up Vision around that Elder Dragon. As of right now, Cloud9 are making a push outside of their base, which is very healthy to see from them, considering the situation they were just in. Three control wards down for themselves, and they've moved up a little bit there.
Bot inhib is about to, or I should say, top inhib is about to spawn for them as well in the next few seconds. So the base is looking healthy. They can finally get these wards out. What are we looking for again from Liquid? It's kind of known now what they're going to try to do. I don't think C9 is going to step out for any more of these Chain of Corruption flanks and equalizers.
Yeah.
How does Liquid find their new win? Is it just to get the waves again and push in?
Yeah, so they still do have that extra line running down, and they're trying to push down this bottom, which is the only one with a turret left.
That was a lot.
Decent amount of harassment. They're really buying time for the split push right now, Cloud9. That Ray is pushing top side, and nobody can really answer. Team Liquid, though, yeah, they really, since it's kind of evened out after that Baron, and especially since Cloud9 have this Infernal Drake, it is so much about setting it up so you can pull that exact same play pattern of landing your long-range CC to try and set up these devastating Rumble ultimates, because that's basically what both teams are packing here. A lot of those skill shots and the landing of them. Oh, goodness, he's got a Zonius. So that was a very risky move from Ray. Let's see if he gets out of it. He's got, oh, he goes in, not out!
Does he get the kill? Oh, he does! 1 for 1, he says, if I'm going down, someone's coming with me. Let's see what the scatter provides for the teams. We got Smoothie coming out of base. It doesn't look like anything can really be acted on.
All right. Well, they've taken on the split push threat, so that's something. But once again, yeah, we'll see if there is any sort of vision being set up, because the ways in for Team Liquid are the flanks from GoldenGlue's Realm Warps, bringing somebody in, or the Nami wave landing. Another chain hits!
Yomu's triggered. Sneaky back. Smoothie's trying to deliver the damage as well. Contractz has to flash himself to shield Sneaky because Sneaky wants to ult. Everybody's out of range of that curtain call, so he drops it back down and the show continues. Looking for a double buff onto somebody. Taliyah wall weaves in, and they're actually going down for GoldenGlue. They want to take him off the map. They feel like they can fight the rest of the team. Lourlo's coming in with teleport, so they can't go too far.
Divide and conquer here for Cloud9. They completely split up Team Liquid. They're all out of sorts, and they were in 3 different spots on the map at that point. Really good focus here. Cloud9 are able to take back that one, as so much zoning from the Contractz and Daisy combo here, plus Sneaky, and taking him out means they're trying to push it down.
This be the equalizer.
It's the W again!
Lourlo has it. Jensen stays alive. Good shield from Contractz. There's no hit there on Burn, and Sneaky will stay alive as well. You have 20 seconds onto GoldenGlue, and Cloud9 getting chased out, but
go, Riv.
Are not afraid to fight back. This has to be strenuous now for Liquid, knowing their backs are against the wall after such a start to the game.
Your Elder Dragon is coming up shortly, Riv, as is the Baron. Let's take another look at go for those when you have some more info on where the rest of the team is. Lourlo actually used his flash there, so it was even an even summoner trade as far as him going for that 1 versus 1. So he was able to take one down with him, as you said. But all in all, very risky play to go for that without any vision of any of the other members. Didn't end up costing them, as even Cloud9 in the 4v4 were able to take an advantage for themselves. But man, Baron coming up and then Elder Dragon very shortly after. We'll see if this vision Cloud9 have set up allow them to land another, or Team Liquid allow them to land another snare.
Just a bit of go on his last back. Piglet did finish that Muramana. We'll see if that can add any more to these fights.
They land another snare, and everyone leaves him at the Realm Warp! Holy shit! Oh man, they leave into the Baron, but Piglet was left out, and it's going to be an inhibitor trade for a Baron.
Ray's going ham. They're pinging in mid lane, actually.
They got another 2 of them. Are they going to keep them all down here? Ray's still pushing.
Ray's going for the Nexus turrets right now. He's continuing to stay with that much damage. He is going to destroy these turrets. ReignOver can't get back. They have Baron, even the enhanced backs. One Nexus turret gets hit. GoldenGlue cannot fight this anymore alone. Ray's just going to kite it out. And there's the equalizer top lane. Fights across the board, coast to coast. Liquid is going to be down and out, and Cloud9's looking for the base.
Whoa, what a big swing for C9. I want a replay of that Realm Warp to see how Piglet got left out. I think it's just the snare kept him in place, but man, what a devastating move right there, as you just feel so bad for the AD carry. The entire team beams themselves out into Baron Pit to go for the big play, and Ray's able to get the split pushing done as Sneaky lands more and more snares to grab more kills for Cloud9. Whew. All right, let's take a look at it. Okay, so they're making this plan like, all right, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna.
Oh, no, locked.
You guys snared. Yeah, it was right on the edge of the Realm Warp, and everyone's like reaching out to Piglet. No, I can't bring you with us. Goodbye. Cloud9 now gonna be able to actually rush down this Elder Dragon. Our Team Liquid going in for it. ReignOver wants a piece. Miracle Steal, it's blind.
Cut off on one side. Miracle Steal does not come through. Contractz, Elder Dragon over to C9. And Liquid's trying to fight from their safety of the jungle. Not warded up. They do have that upper hand, but now it's Contractz inside. They're going to have the vision they need. Canceling out ReignOver. 1-2. Gets over the wall with the true game. He fights his way back in. ReignOver playing out huge on this one. Sneaky tries to get over the wall, but he's taken out as well. ReignOver never gives up, and the team backs him up.
Oh, man, ReignOver does not want to lose this game. 9-0-4 on Graves has just been dominating. Grits his teeth and takes
Derek's
down.
range coming up huge.
Holy moly. This is an action-packed game, bro. I wasn't ready for this Friday night action here, but this is definitely a barn burner between Team Liquid and Cloud9. Again, Cloud9 did get the Elder Dragon before this happened, so they fight this even against the Elder Dragon. The rush there from Ivern means that there's no vision for ReignOver, so they pretty easily pick this up, and then you think they're going to be able to chase down Team Liquid and use this burn damage. Sneaky's already taken out GoldenGlue. He opens up for the extra slows. And at this point, it's like, oh, how are they getting out of this one? But ReignOver, with the Graves, fights his way out of that corner. Now they're inside the base. They got another, ooh, the counter kill actually. As Jensen took down Matt. Didn't quite see the setup for it, but Matt does find himself back in the fountain.
I feel like at this point, Jensen would be exploding. Matt,
oh, here we go again. Ray's coming into the fog of war here. They have
Ray to save the day. He doesn't know where the wards are. He's trying to see if they are actually going to react differently, and I think he's figured out they haven't seen me. Got to play this one nice and quiet.
Whew. This is an AD carry versus jungler, Sneaky versus ReignOver. Who can?
Ray's still trotting around in the jungle. Finally joins the team. This turret not long for this world. Make sure there's no vision behind them. We don't want to get teleported on and then get the equalizer, which is actually down. So plays from Team Liquid are held off for quite some time here to get around the side of Cloud9. Straight down the middle. Curtain Call is out to expose the turret, but they say, Curtain Call, you're going to be standing still. We'll take that fight. So ultimate from Sneaky down, that's the one they've been initiating with. I think I like that call by Liquid to pull the trigger as well.
Yeah, it is. Oof, man, this is a impressive. Ooh. All right, there's a lot of oohs and a lot of ahs in this game, but let's get back to how they finish this one out. Siege will continue. Elder Dragon gonna time out, so they're doing this without the extra burn. ReignOver's a little bit far away, so they can't fight this in it. There's a good little sneak here from Cloud9. Team Liquid thought they completely backed off, and that's enough time for them to take out the turret. Ultimates will be coming back up.
This is that time I was talking about before. If TL's even able to repair something here with a fight, their lanes are all the way pushed up now. This is what Cloud9 was able to stop when TL was pushing them in. Cloud9 only had to deal with one of the inhibitor turrets, and now they're putting on the pressure. Liquid's got to back off.
Sneaky
Great
going
hit
down!
from Piglet on the side. Sneaky must get out. And Piglet is trying to do everything he can outside the base by himself.
They're still in here. The brush from Ivern are so annoying.
You don't say.
Threats lie in every brush here. Cloud9 finally are able to get that inhibitor and get the pressure once again. Man. Whew. Lourlo's Rumble ultimate there, though, being traded in counter for the Jhin ultimate whenever Sneaky does open up, presents a pretty good target. And they were able to chase him off once, but Cloud9 relentless, returning to that mid lane siege, and finally did get it. It took so long, though, that the bottom one responded for Team Liquid. So really, we're looking at more Barons coming up, Riv. Minute and 40 seconds. We'll see if they actually push inside the base before then, or just push up and then draw back to get vision in this blue quadrant. That's what we'd expect again. We keep expecting more vision around blue quadrant so they can land these skill shots to the corridors. But we've had action break out again and again.
It's been ridiculous. Contractz and ReignOver. This game is 15-15. They both have 13 or 12 and 13 in kill participation.
Definitely has been ridiculous. Ray does not have his teleport to get back for this one, so Team Liquid. Push. They're just trying to delay this.
Jensen lands off. He's safe from Mikhail's Crucible. GoldenGlue goes down immediately. That's quite a bit of damage. ReignOver and Piglet can stay alive. They still
only
have
one Nexus turret there.
Able to fire in. Lourlo's taking a lot of poke. And Team Liquid's taking everything in. ReignOver taking down Jensen. A huge play forward.
Ray's off the last Nexus turret. Split it.
Gonna be the hit. TL has to get back. They don't even have Baron. Ray's gonna be able to take this one, and he has the Nexus down to half. Ray has split his own game the entire time, and Ray from the side lanes wins the game for Cloud9. We'll have to go back and look at the second game that was replaying that was being played the whole time. Holy moly!
Oh goodness! Key turning moments in this game. Sneaky W's the Baron.
Sneaky W.
Everyone from Team Liquid kind of dodges out of the way of it. Oh man, and that was the start of the comeback for C9. Then Ray waits in the bush, gets some crazy 1v4 action going on, takes people down and keeps up the split push. And Cloud9 eventually grind out the win.
There was 26, 27, 28 minutes. Liquid was already taking down inhibitor turrets near the base. Ooh. Definitely a game to look at of how to stop a lot of pressure from happening. Cloud9 was really able to stave that off immediately and then find Sneaky a Baron, which really, really helped. For a deeper dive into that C9 win, let's check in with our analysts.
Thank you very much, Riv. Kobe's very right in saying that that was a grind for C9 there to pick up the victory in game one of this series. Ray winning it with the split push there on Jayce. And that's kind of the first person I really want to target here in our analysis is, hey, let's give him his report card. He's back on the LCS stage. We heard from Jat, who had spoken to Reaper, that he has been doing better in scrims. They wanted to get him some more stage time with the team and have another go at it. What are your thoughts?
I mean, he kind of looks like classic Ray from Apex, right? He likes to play super aggressive. He likes to do risky things. Sometimes it kind of bit him. I mean, he got an early lead in top lane, really threw it away on an overchase that caused him to die later. Yep. You know, the aggressive trade with Lourlo top lane, 1-for-1 kill, that kind of ended up working out. But really overall, even though he kind of ended up being like the star of the show because he ended the game, I thought it was much more about his team playing well than really Ray, because TL basically made the decision to not even answer the split push.
And I think it's an interesting case study in Cloud9 without Impact, Cloud9 with Impact. Impact on tanks would have given their team so much more direction and ability to fight. They seemed a little bit less sure of how to play this strategy where Ray is, you know, dominating the split push and they have to play to that win condition solely. Let's go ahead and dive into some replays. You mentioned the aggressiveness top. Let's take a look at this. ReignOver ganking top. Gonna get turned around, or not ReignOver, sorry. Contractz ganking top.
And this
already
is
got
where
the flash.
You've already missed your shot blast there. You probably need to stop actually chasing, right? They don't know where ReignOver is. ReignOver comes in, and he's able to now force out Ray's flash. Ray was up a lot in farm, and because he blew his flash there, went pretty aggressive, he now dies to this gank, then loses first turret. So he ends up actually behind in the laning phase as far as gold goes, you know, on Jayce, which is this kind of lane dominant pick, and that was a little bit of kind of, he wanted it too bad.
Right, you look at something like that and you go, uh-oh, this game is, you know, going downhill quickly for Cloud9 here. You've got what should be the dominant side lane pushing champion and duelist in Jayce. He's now set far behind. The other team's got a 1.5K, 2K gold advantage. But Barons. Barons is where it all fell apart for Team Liquid. They got the first one within the first 25 minutes, used that to push in the base, but it was Barons 2 and 3 that really caused some trouble for him.
And this one is just a disaster. I mean, TL was so far ahead at this point in the game, and ReignOver, to his credit, had an amazing game. Doesn't even use his smite there. That is just brutal. That would have been the game-ending Baron with 2 inhibitors down. And now this one, Piglet kind of gets left out to dry here as he's rooted up by Sneaky. Credit to him for that play. But this ended up being a very bad turn of events for TL as, yeah, sure, they get the Baron, but they're losing their base. They end up losing exit kills here. This delayed the game so much between the stolen Baron and this disaster Baron that it allowed Ray to get a lot done with his split push.
Right, he doesn't win the game here, but already putting pressure onto the Nexus turrets. He'll win the game in a very similar fashion with Cloud9 essentially chasing the trailing members of Team Liquid up the mid lane. And so, yes, the strategy worked here with the Jayce, and that is technically how they realized the victory. But it didn't feel clean, and it didn't necessarily feel like C9 crafted this victory. And I think that's the big thing. It almost felt handed to them, or lost more so, by Team Liquid.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there was a lot of kind of strange stuff from Lourlo in particular. You know, there was a phase for about between 6 and 8 minutes where he was grouped with the team, didn't pick up any farm, ended up falling down 3 levels because of that. Wasn't even involved in an assist during that entire time. You know, he was just kind of hanging around. Waves were dying to turrets. You know, that allowed Ray to have this massive advantage. And Jayce in general in North America has not done well. No. Yes, it wins today, but it kind of felt like almost in spite of the pick, not because of the pick. And yeah,
previously 2-9 in North America. That brings Jayce to his 3rd win here, but that's an abysmal win rate. Yeah. And so I do think it points to something when it comes to North American teams and how they need to operate around this pick. It requires such high execution.
Yeah, it really does, because you have to not only win lane, but then you have to be able to actually get something really big done with that. And we saw Lourlo, even from behind, was able to just kind of group up with TL and force fights and look aggressively for that. And really, this was TL's game to lose. ReignOver, we got to give him some credit. He was amazing on the Graves. Despite that missed smite, that would have sealed the game, but he really was incredible.
Right, we saw in that gold graph there, 9K gold lead at 30 minutes, and we know those double inhibs were down. It's very rare to see a team lose with that kind of an advantage, and even still, the gold was in their favor at the end of the game. Player of the game going to Sneaky this time around on that 80 carry. Now, Jensen did have a fantastic scoreline and was playing very well, but 1, Baron steal with a Jhin W, but 2,
that saved the game.
Yeah, it did save the game. He had some phenomenal roots and ults as well.
He did. I mean, the second Baron as well, he was the one that roots Piglet from going into that Realm Warp, getting them that pick, which gets them that really good series of events. So both the Barons, a lot in credit to Sneaky. We saw team fight damage across a number of fights. He was crushing it. The Jhin in particular was so successful because there's no real front line. There's no one with armor, no tank to soak up that Jhin ultimate, so it's so disruptive. It allowed them to take objectives. It allowed them to hold on in the 4v5 squad, and I think that Sneaky was fantastic in this game, and because of that 4-man squad shining and Sneaky in particular, it allowed Ray to kind of.
I mean, with very few tanks in the game, we saw how potent any of the armor or lethality building champions are in the Jayce, the Jhin, or the Varus. We're just chunking people out. Graves as well. Anyway, when we return, Liquid take to the stage to see if they can bring Cloud9 to a game 3. Don't touch that browser. We'll be right back.